Secret Service warns banks about ATM jackpotting exploit. The U.S. Secret Service this week issued an alert warning banks about an ATM hacking attack known as jackpotting. Online security blogger and journalist Brian Krebs, citing a Secret Service alert to banks, reports that thieves use an endoscope attached to a phone to begin the exploit. They use this to find an internal part of the ATM that'll connect with your laptop. After that, the cash machine appears as out of service and will be in control of the thieves. They can order the ATM to dispense currency to a collector or a money mule at a rate of 40 bills per 23 seconds. The Secret Service alert warns the exploit targets ATMs inside pharmacies and big box retailers, as well as drive-thru ATMs. Stick around for more stories on automated tellers.
Spray gel could cover ATM thieves with evidence for 5 years. This is what crooks could look like next time they try and decide to swipe money from ATMs in England. The Co-op, a British supermarket, has outfitted ATMs in 2,500 stores with a traceable spray gel to deter would-be criminals. When someone tries to break into an ATM, their clothes and face are sprayed with a gel. Each sprayer has its own forensic identifier, and only a speck of this is needed from the suspect to match it to the ATM. The gel is visible under an ultraviolet black light. Developer company Smart Water say the gel can be traced up to 5 years after being sprayed. The technology reportedly reduced ATM theft by up to 90% in test areas in 2016. Man trapped in ATM gets withdrawn by cops. A Texas contractor found himself held captive by a cash machine and had to go old school to get out. The worker was changing the locks for the ATM vestibule when he was locked in because he left his swipe card in the truck. Poor fella also left his phone, so he couldn't call for help. But the ATM was working just fine, and what he did have was a pen and paper. He resorted to slipping notes through the receipt slot, begging people to please help. I'm stuck in here and I don't have my phone. Please call my boss. Unfortunately for him, everyone who got the note thought it was a bizarre joke, and the poor man was stuck for 2 hours until someone took it seriously enough to call the cops. Even the cops didn't think it was for real, even after they heard a little voice coming from the machine. Still, they eventually came to the man's rescue, kicking down the door to finally get him out. Now there's a man who's never been so happy to get away from a cash machine. Crazy!
Florida man goes rocky on ATM for giving him too much cash. A Florida man has been charged with criminal mischief after he reportedly assaulted an ATM machine. Michael Joseph Oleksic happened to be visiting the Wells Fargo and Cocoa when he got into a tussle with the ATM machine on November 29th. According to the police, surveillance footage shows Oleksic having a disagreement with the touchscreen that got physical. Real physical. At one point, Oleksic introduced his fists of fury to the machine, which ended up costing at least $5,000 in damages. Oleksic called the bank a short time after the throwdown and told them the ATM had dispensed too much money. He said he was in a hurry for work and didn't know what to do. Wells Fargo returned the favor by having Oleksic arrested and charged. How hackers jack ATMs remotely. Japanese cybersecurity firm Trend Micro has published a white paper detailing how hackers can remotely control ATMs. First, cybercriminals target banking staff with phishing emails. If a worker accesses the email, this allows the hacker to steal their identity. The hacker then uses these stolen digital credentials to enter the banking network, where they begin to comb it for data on their target. This is known as lateral movement. The hack is commonly seen in places where banks' main networks and ATM networks are not separated. Once said data is acquired, the hacker gains access to ATMs. They then order machines to dispense so-called jackpot amounts of cash to standby mules waiting to collect. Hackers using this technique have kept away from ATMs in the US and Canada, but Trend Micro expects the threat to become stronger in the future.